We would like to strengthen our activities in the northeastern part of the state through our presence in Siliguri, bolster our activities in the Durgapur-Asansol-Raniganj industrial belt, work in the northeastern states of Tripura, Meghalaya atoll, and act across a larger canvas to have a pan-India presence. We would like to showcase the strengths of our state through telling publications on GST. This one would surface very soon. Tajpur Port with associated facilities, nuclear power, tourism, to name a few, as we strongly believe that the state is suitably positioned to derive tangible advantages from such interventions or development and propagation of such sectors. Dr. Amit Mitra, sir, we'll certainly again talk to you and your government to see where we can add value and intervene more. International delegation to Sri Lanka in October, Russia in November have already been firmed up, and we hope to take this to Bangladesh before the year closes out. The US would get top priority next year. As for working for the people, this would receive very close attention for the Chamber this year. Improvement of quality of life at Robindra Sarobar, we've already started detailed work on this. Enhancement of our own Sonnet Lumiere at Victoria Memorial, joining hands with the Indian Museum are some of the programs outlined. Thus, ladies and gentlemen, programs, projects, events, publications, advocacy in a plethora of avenues would continue unabated to bolster and reinforce the Chamber's acknowledged position as a lead accelerator in nation building. The motto this year would thus be, enjoy the Chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shutanu Ghosh, for giving us a roadmap of the way ahead. Present in our midst today is Mr. Craig Hall, the Consul General of the United States of America in Kolkata. We invite Mr. Hall to share his perspective on business opportunities between USA and Bengal, especially in the context of the forthcoming Bengal Global Summit to be held in January next year. Mr. Craig Hall.
Thank you, Ms. Bhimani. Dr. Amit Mitra, Minister of Commerce and Industries, Finance and Excise, Industrial Reconstruction and Public Enterprises. Mr. Ambrish Dasgupta, Outgoing President, Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Mr. Shutanu Ghosh, Incoming President. Mr. Alok Mukherjee and Mr. S. Radhakrishnan, past presidents of the Bengal Chamber, eminent guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to be speaking at the annual general meeting of Calcutta's oldest Chamber of Commerce, officially formed in 1853, but with origins dating to 1833, making the Chamber nearly as old as the U.S. government presence in Calcutta. President George Washington appointed Benjamin Joy as the first consul to Calcutta in 1792 to represent U.S. commercial interest. U.S. ships had been plying the waters of the Bay of Bengal for decades, when in 1833, the exact same year as the Chamber's founding origins, an American named Frederick Tudor was approached by fellow Boston-based merchant Samuel Austin, who proposed a partnership for selling ice to India, some 26,000 kilometers and 4 months away from Massachusetts. On May 12, 1833, the brig Tuscany sailed from Boston for Calcutta, its hold filled with 180 tons of ice. When the ship approached the Ganges in September 1833, many believed that the delivery was an elaborate joke, but 100 tons of ice had survived the journey. Over the next 20 years, Calcutta would become Tudor's most lucrative destination, yielding an estimated $220,000 in profits before new technology made the shipment of ice obsolete. Nevertheless, promotion of sub-regional trade across the Bay of Bengal region continues to be an important interest of the United States. Economically, U.S. companies and investors want to be able to trade their goods and move their money across borders more easily. Strategically, the United States supports the goal of India's Act East policy. It is in India's, the United States, and the region's interest to see India's influence expand to promote democracy, economic development, human rights, and the rule of law. And West Bengal should be the gateway of that expansion. To advance the economic and strategic goals of expanding viable commercial links between India, the countries of South and Southeast Asia, and the United States, the U.S. Consulate General, in partnership with the Consumer United Trust Society, or CUTS, and the East-West Center, will host a regional connectivity conference in Calcutta, December 14 and 15. The conference will focus on three key areas: maritime and waterways connectivity in the Bay of Bengal region, energy cooperation, and trade and investment. We will invite U.S. ambassadors, among others, from throughout the Bay of Bengal region to bring trade and investment delegations to Calcutta for a concurrent trade and investment summit to learn about opportunities across borders and to meet new business partners. The government of West Bengal and other East India states will have an opportunity to brief investors from throughout the region on opportunities here. We look forward to seeing many of you there, and we'll announce more details in the near future. Thank you again for the honor of this time and the privilege of addressing this distinguished audience. And on behalf of the U.S. Consulate General in Calcutta, we wish the Bengal Chamber a very successful new year under the leadership of Mr. Ghosh. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Craig Hall, for sharing your thoughts and going back a lot into history, the history of trading between USA and Bengal. We would now like to request our Honorable Finance Minister and our Chief Guest to address the august audience. Dr. Amit Mitra.
Thank you, Ms. Bhimani, for being the Master of Ceremonies. আজকে একটি উৎসবের দিন. Today is a day of celebration. আপনারা জানেন, you know, the historic role played by Mamata Banerjee towards the right of farmers, and the historic judgment of the Supreme Court, which she is carrying out today in Shingur, giving back the rights of farmers. আমি আজকে এখানে আছি আপনাদের মধ্যে একটি উৎসবের আনন্দের মধ্যে. I'll have to run off soon and join the Honorable Chief Minister at the distribution ceremony of land rights and those who needed compensation. At the same time, in a sense of statesmanship, she also said, উনি বলেছেন, inviting the Tatas to invest even more. So it is an industry chamber AGM that I stand today, where I find the Honorable Chief Minister, in a sense of balance and statesmanship, on one hand giving back the rights of the farmers, a historic judgment, at the same time not just inviting the Tatars to invest more, but carrying with her to Germany two very important Tata personalities. Mr. Narendran, Managing Director of Tata Steel, the flagship company of the Tatas, who spoke in Munich on his experience in Bengal, most positive, Itibachok experience. And of course, Mr. Paul, Managing Director of Tata Metallics. That's what a politician of that big vision is about. Rights of the people, legitimately as carried out by the Supreme Court, at the same time pushing industry for jobs, Karmashanstan. That balance is what today we represent, and I'm here to participate in another celebration, the celebration of the annual General Body meeting of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, of equal importance to the Honorable Chief Minister. Mr. Ambarish Dasgupta, the President, a very reflective statement indeed today. Mr. Shutanu Ghosh, I'm glad that both his mother and father are here. And Putul Mashi, as I know her from childhood. And Mishra Moshe, they are both here. What a pride to see your son take over as the President of the historic and iconic Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm also delighted that you have a Secretary General, Shubhadeep Ghosh. Secretary Generals at the end of the day drive you. I know that as a matter of fact. Past presidents, I'm delighted that we have Mr. Banerjee, Mr. Dhal, Mr. Dotto, Mr. Ghosh, and of course, Mr. Mukherjee and Mr. Radhakrishnan, who were felicitated today. I'm also delighted the chairman of Bandhan Bank is here. The first bank from Bengal with a run by somebody who came from the grassroots, recognized by the Reserve Bank of India. Congratulations to you indeed. And it's not that he's only banking for those who are from the bottom of the pyramid, but I believe in the first few months, he's made a profit of 265 crores. That's business, and at the same time, social responsibility. You were in Germany with us, sir. I'm so delighted that we have with our Excellency, the Consul General, Mr. Craig Hall. Yes, this chamber began around the time that the US mission started in Kolkata. And you spoke of ice. I still recall going to see Walden Pond. How many of you know about Walden Pond? I don't know. We went to visit Henry Thoreau's sacred place. At the end of the day, Henry Thoreau greatly influenced Mahatma Gandhi. By the way, he not only influenced Mahatma Gandhi in turn influenced Martin Luther King. Back and forth from the two continents of United States and India. And you spoke of ice. I was told that at some time Walden Pond is where ice was cut and was sent to India. I don't know the truth of that. But what was interesting to me, as how history is forgotten, there were a lot of people sitting there in Walden Pond on the beach. I asked them, where is Henry Thoreau's log cabin? They said, we don't quite know who's this Henry Thoreau. But they were there to have a good time. So time passes. But I could not have forgotten. And I went and saw his cabin. Delighted that you're here, Excellency. I'm also very happy that you have with us the UK Consul General here. Sir, I haven't had the occasion of meeting you. So in effect, we are meeting for the first time. Thank you very much for joining the Bengal Chamber of Commerce's AGM. And thank you so much, the Consul General of Germany. Sir, you have been very helpful to us. You'd be interested to know that there are 200 German companies in West Bengal. People don't know that. 500 companies export to Germany. And when His Excellency was with me There were 34 companies who came to see us, and one of them employs 700 people in Kolani. I did not know that. And of course, there were others. So thank you, Consul General, for being here. I'm equally delighted that the Italian Consul General is here, sir. We have met, and you've been very helpful. I'm delighted you've joined us. And the Consul General from Thailand is also here. Mamata Banerjee has announced that she will go to Bangkok for the Asian Business Summit on 27th and 28th of November, where we believe she would be speaking with the Deputy Prime Minister of Singapore on transformation of Singapore and transformation of Bengal. She has already announced that. Therefore, I can say so. And if everything works all right, you will find her addressing in your great city the Global Business Summit organized by Horasis Foundation, a non-profit body which does conferences all over the world of magnum size. So I'm delighted you have joined us. I will not, since much has been said, I will try to restrict myself to a few points and give some suggestions to the Chamber, most humbly. Before I do that, let me submit to you, it was a phenomenal event when I saw in Düsseldorf Mr. Sanjeev Paul, the Tata Metallics MD, speak about his experience in Bengal. Absolutely objectively, with great optimism. They're wanting to expand, I'm told. I heard Mr. Narendran speak. I heard Purnendu Chatterjee, who is now, as you know, has majority share in Haldia Petrochemicals, a company that was dwindling when we came to office, that was half closed, 20% production, sometimes zero. Today is running at 97% capacity. He has 51% equity. We stake sold the state's, part of state shares. You'll be happy to know that he's paying 200 crores a month of taxes to the central government. I wish I could get a part of that for the state. And 100 crores profit a month. This is what they tell me. What was interesting is, Mr. Chatterjee, speaking of his experience in Munich, on his Bengal journey, he also mentioned something that connects with what Ambarish Babu said, and what Sutanu also indicated. He said, I employ 1,000 scientists in Kolkata. How many people knew that? Not many knew that. What does he produce? Biotechnological materials and biopharma. In Salt Lake. The last count I had 3 years or 4 years ago was 850. Today he employs 1,000 scientists, MScs, PhDs, from Bengal, right here among us. And therefore he beckoned the Germans, for whom research is fundamental to their industry, to come forward and invest in Bengal to take advantage of the human capital. I heard Mr. Sanjeev Goenka speak about his 600 megawatts power plant inaugurated by the Chief Minister. And I heard the ITC MD, who's, according to rumors, is destined to be the next chairman, talk about his 2 food processing parks, one already functioning in Dankuni and the other under construction. His ITC Infotech, 17 acres of land in which they are constructing now. And of course his iconic hotel, which will have 800 rooms, 1,200 crores investment, $200 million investment in Bengal. A total of 4,200 crores of investment by ITC. When he spoke of all that, the Germans were deeply touched. However, the speech of the Honorable Chief Minister, after which a German CEO at 35,000 feet height, €1 billion turnover, came to me and said, I'm going back a very happy man today. And I'm so glad I could attend this. I said, why? He said, I heard a leader, not data, but passion, sincerity. A top owner, promoter, owner doesn't look for data. Data is analyzed somewhere else. He said, the chemistry that I saw of Bengal's leadership, led by Mamata Banerjee, made me feel I want to go there. Because that's the chemistry that the top leadership looks for. The passion, the sincerity, the integrity. So what is interesting to me is this state is moving forward in a variety of ways, not only symbolized by the data that I will give you in a second, but underlying that data is this passion for change, the passion to have industry, the passion to create jobs of millions of people. When we came to office, there was 1 crore unemployment. We have already, in the last assembly session and the budget, we have said that probably in the range of 68 lakhs people, we have already been able to employ. And we still have a moving process. So I would say jobs, investment, which creates jobs. MSME. We have the largest bank funding in India, medium and small enterprises, and micro small. Largest, number 1 in the country. That's why I was so pleased to go to Germany. With Mittelstand, what is the percentage of GDP, Your Excellency, that your Mittelstand adds in Germany? 95%? Probably 95% of German GDP. Over 3 trillion US dollars GDP comes from the Mittelstand. So who says Mittelstand is unimportant? Small and medium enterprises are labor intensive, they provide jobs, they connect with bigger industries, and that's where the bank lending in Bengal has been the highest, creating a record. Let me turn to GDP growth. When we came to office, this is known to most of you, GDP was approximately 4,60,000 crores. GDP in 2015-16, end of 16, we arrived at 9,039,471 crores. That's more than double. Nominal GDP we are talking about. Fiscal deficit reduced from 4.24% to 2.68%. That's fiscal discipline. Revenue deficit reduced from 3.75% when we came to office to 1.03% and moving towards zero. That's the discipline that we have in governance under Mamata Bandyopadhyay's leadership. State-owned taxes doubled. Tell me, give me an example of a state that in 4 years has been able to double their collections of the state. What are the numbers like? 21,129 crores jumped to 42,920 crores. I would like to see who has been able to do that. I'm also very glad that the Indo-German Chamber helped us. And thank you very much for helping us, ma'am. Plan expenditure, 3 times. Do you know that the plan expenditure was only 14,615 when we came to office? And this year it has reached, and by the way, the figure has been revised further up, but I'm giving you the previous figure. From 14,615 we have gone to 54,069. That's 3 times. What happened with social expenditure? As you know, social sector is very critical to the growth of the country, growth of the state. 4.5 times growth in social expenditure. Agriculture 7 times. Physical infrastructure 4 times. And most important, from those who are economists or have interest in economics here, capital expenditure, which produces the Keynesian multiplier, increased by 7 times. We came to office with capital expenditure at 2,226 crores, jumped to 15,947 crores. Why? Because this government knows that capital expenditure in asset creating expenditure, bridges, roads, schools, colleges, provides the largest Keynesian multiplier along with employment. I don't think other governments are so clear in their mind, but Mamata Banerjee is absolutely clear. Plan expenditure, significant increase. By the way, I discussed with her before the budget, in depth, And that's where we decide allocations. And constantly she would ask me, capital expenditure, Amita, I want assets created forever, whether we are here or not, physical assets. And that's where plan expenditure comes from. Roads, 10,663 kilometers of highways, construction and upgradation. Did you know that? In 5 years? 10,000 kilometers of rural roads. Rural, inside villages, which connects village structure to the highways. 100% electrification, probably more like 98 or 99%, because we have some areas of Sundarban which involves waterways, a huge water section from where we are pulling wires. Maybe just 2 mojas, everything else is electrified. Primary schools and junior high schools, 6,000 new schools. Did you know that? Did you know that 46 new government colleges have been opened in 5 years? 46 new government colleges for human capital development. 7 new state-aided universities and 8 private universities. So we have 15 new universities, all done at the level of the legislature with the act of the legislature. It's not something that's light-hearted. Did you know that 81 new polytechnic colleges have been opened in this state? New, 81. And 170 new industrial training institutes, ITIs. How much investments? I said on the floor of the assembly, so I hold that. 88,761 crores is already invested and in process during our 5 years. Then came Bengal Global Business Summit. Investment offers were made. We pursued each lead. And today we have 1,20,242 crores of investments coming out of the 2 Bengal Global Business Summits. So my submission to this, to the great chamber of Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry is that we are on the move. Ambarish Babu spoke of positivism. I would like the positive approach of Bengal to be bolstered by the data, by hard data, which I have presented to you in very brief. So let us move forward. Let the investors come forward from micro, small, medium, large, in sync with each other. Let us move forward. I can give you a whole list of new investments that have come. Are you aware that Bengal is becoming the cement hub of the country? There were 3 cement companies here. 4 major cement companies have come fresh. JSW, Jindal is building a cement plant. Imami is building a cement plant in our own industrial park. I'm happy that Dalmia India has completed its plant in Shalbani, which Honorable Chief Minister inaugurated. And I have 3 more knocking at my door right now. One of them I asked, big one, with 7,000 crores turnover. I said, why are you pushing to come right now? He said, if I don't come now, 2 years later, it will be too crowded. Are you aware that BASF, the great German company, speaking in Dusseldorf, said something very exciting. He said, in 12 months' time, I completed my plant in West Bengal, in our industrial park, Kharagpur. Do you know what the German minister from North Rhine-Westphalia said? I don't think in Germany we could do a 12 months for a BASF plant. So I was so delighted when he said, in 12 months from ground zero, they able to complete the BASF.